Yo, 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 we are live. Getting set up, man. We got a banger tonight. Trust me when I tell you we got a banger tonight. Listen, it's been going crazy online. The stories, look, the world is a stage, man. We got to come to understand that. Let's go ahead and get it, man. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. What up? What up? We did it. Let's get to work, man. Let's get to work. Watch this. Let me bring him down a little bit. Yo, check this out, man. We got a big one for you today, man. But first, I got to give a shout out, as always, man, to my man, Latin Dream. We was hoping to get you on here tonight, man, but we had some technical difficulties, man. We're not quite set up for the guests yet, the new studio. But we are going to get you in real soon, man. He's got a lot of big stuff coming up, man. We've been trying to reach out to my man, Oshino Vasquez, man. Yo, hit us up, man. Hit my man up. Let's do something. But look, man, tonight, man, we got a massive premiere. We aren't pulling any punches. We are kicking things off with the While You Were Sleeping segment. We're going to be talking about Haiti. The headlines want you to look at the chaos and demand that people leave this country. But the real history shows that people leave, but that America is a massive reason why the nation is in the condition it's in today as far as Haiti goes. We're going to break down that timeline, and you ain't going to want to miss that. Let's see here. Then we'll be capping it off with the story of the night, with our Stay Average segment. And, we're completely going to be opening and dissecting the story of Jessica Leigh, something like that. She went completely viral with her claims of being harmed by the family court system. And a lot of people bought into that. A lot of people heard the claims. But wait until you see what investigators actually uncovered. They tracked her real past. We've got an exclusive video from the investigators tonight to show you exactly how she faked her own deletion. You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that, man. So, like I said, man, we're going to go ahead and kick it over to While You Were Sleeping, which, just to break that down a little bit, that's the segment where some things seem to go right by us. You know, the way the narrative is spun and things, sometimes we miss it like we're sleeping. But we wake up, we can see the truth. So coming up next, While You Were Sleeping, we'll be right back. Yo. Okay, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Okay, so like I said, man, this is going to be the While You Were Sleeping segment. We're going to be tapping in with Jimmy Dore. He's going to break down the differences in the hypocrisy with one Megyn Kelly, because she was just going off the other day demanding that everybody get the F out and all of this. But when you really peel back the layers of it, you can really see the damage that was caused to that country. And, you know, you got to think of it. No one wants to leave their country. You know, it's one thing. I know we've been told this thing where, like, if that this country is so great, you know, people just want to come here. But the truth is if the countries were left alone and weren't in such horrible condition, then, you know, they wouldn't want to come here. But besides that, though, let's go ahead and switch over to the Summer Jam screen. Let's get it. Yeah, so here we go, man. So we're gonna be, let me turn this on here, get that up there. Okay, so here we go. Let me get it set up here. No, I need to move that. Right there. Okay, so here we go, man. Let me turn this down a little bit. Too much. And let me turn this on here. Go ahead, talk to him, Jimmy. Talk to him.
Because we've been fed a bill of goods. Zionists has poisoned our mind to make us, the Christians and Muslims, to fight. So they wanted Christians to go kill the Muslims to fight their wars for them so they could do the Greater Israel Project. So that's what he's revealing there. And that's not good. And by the way, this is not the first time he said this. Or guess who else has said this? Megyn Kelly has had an awakening since October 7th, 2023, that, hey, maybe I've been lied to about Muslims. And let's listen to it here.
You've had an influx of young viewers and some Muslims now that are taking another look at the Tucker Carlson show because you've been somewhat defensive of Islam. Just yes.
So you see, Megyn Kelly, he set that up to where Megyn Kelly's getting ready to go in as far as how she got played, how she got duped. Let's do it.
Line yesterday was a torrent of demands by the Israel Firsters and some regular conservatives. I mean, demanding that I, in their view, return to Muslim hate. You know, you're just out there for
Wait a minute. This isn't the, hang on a sec. Hold on one sec. Go to Steph.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this. I didn't get a chance to say this earlier, but it was Mel Brooks' birthday yesterday.
Oh, here we go.
And
thank God.
I love Mel Brooks.
He's up for Islam, right, you know, and I have to tell you, Mark, it's been something I've noticed just since I've gotten a sort of more clear-eyed on Israel, that a lot of the anti-Muslim rhetoric that's put out there originates with people who are very, very pro-Israel, who kind of need us to demonize them. Right. And I've taken a look recently at my own rhetoric on this to say, like, have I been manipulated? I want to make sure I'm not getting manipulated. But I think.
So you see, she's saying, hey, I've been tricked into hating on these people. But hear what she said the other night when she was telling people to get the F out. Here we go.
He's having a lot of Muslim viewers flock to him. I know for a fact he has a lot of young men flocking to him. And so while he may have lost some contingent of the Fox News audience that's very, very pro-Israel and, pro-Trump, and you can't say anything about Trump, for every one of those who leaves, there is another newer, younger audience member who does want to hear these traditional lines challenged and hear just new independent thinking. I mean, I'm experiencing some of that myself, and right. Tucker probably times 10. Okay, so what happened, interestingly, in response to that clip online yesterday was a torrent.
So I just want to say, so that's Megyn Kelly realizing, hey, I've been propagandized about Muslims.
So she goes on TV and says that. She's going to say what some of the backlash from that was. And I'm just using this to teach on a broader point as far as the history and all this, and as far as how we, and I don't mean we, but I mean we as a government are really to blame for a lot of this.
So because of what Israel has been doing since October 7th, 2023, not only have people like me figured out what Israel's all about, I had covered Israel's, killing Palestinians before, but I didn't really understand the origin of Israel. I didn't understand that it was a lie, that Israel was founded so Jews had a safe place to go after the Holocaust. That's a lie, because Zionism has been around since the 1800s. That's not what it's about. They use that as an excuse. In fact, the Balfour...
Now here's her now. Not to cut Jimmy off there.
Sometimes.
Not to cut Jimmy off there, but he's talking more about Israel and stuff like that. But I want you to see... Now you saw that she said, I'm not too sure about the whole Muslim hate thing. I probably shouldn't have been doing that. I was manipulated into that. It's basically what she said. And now with this whole Haiti thing, watch this.
And this is such a simpleton, not simple, simpleton, with barely a brain cell working. So Megyn Kelly, this is from her own Twitter account. Megyn Kelly sends a message to Haitians who lost their TPS. So the Supreme Court ruled that the Haitians that the Biden administration brought to Ohio to go work at their factories, they lost their TPS, which is temporary protected status, meaning they don't have asylum. They have asylum here. They can come here temporarily. And now the Supreme Court took it away, and now they have to leave. So here's what she says. She says, go home, get out. Oh, well, I'll play it for you.
And look, this has been going on for over a dozen years. Go home, get out. We know.
She says that to homeless people, too, by the way, just in case you don't know. She says that to American Indians, and she says that to homeless people. Go home.
Why don't you go back where you came from?
Go back where you came from, you stupid Cherokee.
And look, this has been going on for over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture and our values. You being here only dilutes it for us, those who built it and live it. And half of you people, more than half, you won't assimilate. We don't want you. We don't care if you're offended. Get out. Go home. Go back to fucking Haiti. Sorry. I'm thinking about our friends in Ohio.
Yeah, so Kelly, she wants the hate.
See that? But what happens to why doesn't that cause her? And I mean, really, it's because it's a grift. I mean, she's playing to a certain audience. She's trying to get likes, views, clicks. But you see how, it's like wrestling. It's like they'll just jump back and forth, I'm on the show with Tucker, so I'm going to act like, I'm bad at this. I'm on the, so. Keep it going.
To go back to effing Haiti, she's intuitively drawn to Haiti because it has the word hate in it. She thinks it's this. Yeah. We know our country's better than yours because your country hasn't been economically strangling our country for years.
It's a little weird that you would be so up on how bad the Clintons are, Megyn Kelly, and not know that they were trafficking children out of Haiti and what was done to it. I would think it'd be a good opportunity to trash
the Clintons.
The side at least, right?
So this is the classic, I don't understand the problem, but I'm angry at the symptom. The problem is, well, I'm going to tell you what the problem is in a second. Let me finish her stupid rant. Let's let it.
Been dealing with these TPS Haitians for years now, who are drunk driving all over their towns and killing people.
This is, don't be angry at a person who's in a more desperate situation, and they're in that desperate situation because of what our country did to them. Don't be angry at that person. Be angry at the people creating this situation that you find unbearable. And so don't be, if you're angry at someone lower on the economic ladder than you, you're being manipulated at someone higher on the economic ladder than you.
Preach.
The problem isn't that there's desperate people coming to America for jobs. The problem is how they got that way. And I'm going to tell you. So let me just play it real quick.
And look, this has been going on for over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture.
With our work ethic. Well, I just want to play this for you real quick. This is from Ohio. And this is a guy who hires Haitians to work for him at a factory. And let's listen to what he says about it.
What started slowly, we had an application pool that was a little bit different.
People coming to work here.
People looking for jobs. What he's welding here again are welded axle components.
Jamie McGregor is the CEO of McGregor Metal, which makes welded parts for the auto and farm industries. Right now, about 10% of his workforce is Haitian, over 30 employees.
I wish I had 30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
See that? You'll have people on both sides. One, they'll say, oh, our people here are lazy. They don't want to work. And then on the other side, you'll say, you know, these people are lazy and don't want to work. But really, you know, most of the people that have these people as employees, they love it. Especially if you're a business owner and you can help use them as a way to deflate wages. But no one gets upset about that. They're more upset at the people that are here because of failed policy.
Because his community has been devastated by opioids and they're all drug addicts. And that's another thing that the WF globalist has done to you.
So wait, they aren't living like Americans. Megan was right.
She's
they're
right.
Going to work.
Yeah, they're going to work. They're staying at their station and finishing their job.
Because when she said drunk driving, I was like, well, that sounds like Americans.
Sounds like Americans to me. So I just want to. So if you want to know what really happened and why those Haitians are here, so this is what I said about J.D. Vance and Trump when they were talking about they're eating cats and they got to get out and you can't drop 50,000 Haitians into the middle of a Midwest community. And agreed. That's a bad idea. Agreed. But he would never tell you the cause of that problem. And the cause of the problem is the people he works for, the globalists, the billionaire class, the corporations who devastated Haiti, opened the border and flooded America with low-wage workers. That's the problem. You'll be angry at the person in the desperate situation put there by U.S. imperialism.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, people are upset at the wrong thing. It's like people rather have a civil war than a revolution. And, man, we're just in a lot of trouble because of that. But, yeah, he said it right on the nose, man. Jimmy Dore, man, he is a voice in this, man, for sure. Go ahead.
You should be angry at the U.S. imperialism, but J.D. Vance will never tell you that. Neither will Megyn Kelly, but I'm going to tell you it right now. So, truly breathtaking what Megyn intentionally leaves out of her rant. Kelly pretends the problem is some inherent flaw in Haitian culture or lack of work ethic. Well, I just showed you that's not true. In reality, the conditions forcing people to flee extreme poverty, gang violence fueled by desperation, collapsed institutions are the direct legacy of U.S.-backed coups, economic warfare, and neocolonial policies designed to keep Haiti weak, dependent, and a source of exploitable labor. Direct U.S. interventions destroyed their ability to build a decent life at home in Haiti. Demanding that they go back to the ruins these policies helped engineer is pure hypocrisy and evil. The desperation isn't innate. It was manufactured by the very powerful economic forces and U.S. government coups that Kelly refuses to acknowledge. When Jean-Bertrand Aristide, Haiti's first democratically elected president, backed by the poor and working class masses, took office,
So watch, he's about to give a little bit of the history where, you know, they tried to have a better country over there, but of course, American imperialists, they can't stand that. They can't have that.
Government immediately moved to double the minimum wage, mobilize the poor, better health care and education, foster neighborhood truces, and hold paramilitaries accountable. These pro-worker steps threatened the sweatshop owners, which is the United States.
Facts. I was talking about that earlier. You know, he's talking about how they they tried to rise up and give themselves some rights and, higher wages and everything like that. But because of the Jordans of the world, while we were over here buying Jordans, they were making those over in the sweatshops. And as soon as they put another, and at one point in time, Michael Jordan did get in a little heat for that. But instead of doing anything about it, they just put another star out there in front of everybody, and everybody went right back to sleep. Go ahead.
These pro-worker steps threaten the sweatshop owners and foreign interests profiting from the starvation wages.
What was the raise, like 30 cents or something?
Yeah, it was like 30 to 50 cents. So the U.S. responded with economic...
They wanted 30 to 50 cents more. That's all they were asking for. And they dang near went to war over that.
Sabotage and a violent coup. So as soon as the workers rose up, elected someone, and started to fix up their country, the United States came in and did a coup and wiped it out and oppressed the workers.
That was the Clintons that did that.
And yes, it was. As a classified diplomatic case.
And you hear he said that was the Clintons that did that. And the crazy thing is a lot of right-wingers will point out the things of Clinton and what they did in Haiti and supposedly what they did, children, all this kind of stuff. But then at the same time, they'll ignore all of that when it comes to this side of things. I don't get it.
Cable obtained by the Gray Zone reveals veteran CIA operative Janice Elmore, operating under State Department cover, meeting coup plotters and disloyal police in Haiti right before a strategic 2002 jailbreak that freed paramilitaries and set the 2004 overthrow in motion.
Oh, that's right. Bush was president and Hillary was the, what do you call it? What she did under Bush. She was the Secretary of State.
Secretary of State. So the Bush administration, through the U.S. government-funded International Republican Institute, trained and unified Aristide's opponents, encouraged them to reject power sharing, impose crippling sanctions that...
Now, this is us getting involved. This is the U.S. government getting involved in another country's elections, where we go crazy if they say, oh, they interfered with our elections. We know people go crazy over that over here. But we do that all over the world.
Froze loans and aid and ultimately backed the coup that ousted Aristide in February 29th of 2004. Post-coup, the price of rice, the staple food for Haiti's poor, more than doubled. Looting, chaos, starvation risks, mass layoffs, paramilitary violence followed. Regime change delivered exactly what the poor had feared, more misery.
That's right.
This fits a longer pattern. Under Bill Clinton, the U.S. slashed tariffs on subsidized American rice, flooding Haiti and wiping out local rice farmers in Haiti. Clinton himself later admitted, it may not have been good for some of my it may have been good for some of my farmers in Arkansas, but it has not worked. It was a mistake.
And here's the thing, a lot of people can point out the wrong. They can stand with their group and point across the aisle and say they're the problem. People can point at Bill Clinton and say he was the problem, but they won't do that to their own party. And that's a good faith conversation when someone can say, hey, you know what? They messed that up there. I can have a conversation with that person. But if the person you're supporting can do no wrong, it's like you can't even talk to a person like that.
I'm shocked that he did something that helped local rice farmers in
America.
Arkansas.
Right. So let me finish. The result was the destruction of Haitian agriculture and forced dependence on low-wage factory jobs. WikiLeaks cable showed U.S. officials and contractors for major American brands actively pressured Haitian governments against even modest minimum wage increases, opposing a rise from 24 to 61 cents an hour.
That's right.
As supposedly not reflecting economic reality.
So it wasn't even 50 cents.
Aristide's earlier wage hikes were sabotaged for the same reasons, protecting cheap labor for U.S. corporate interests. That's what happened.
Where was all the liberal boycotts and stuff of this? Isn't that amazing?
But it's because the Clintons were doing it.
Yeah.
And because the media didn't tell them to.
That's what I think the main thing is. That's like we pick and choose which one we give a shit about.
And so this is the kind of mentality that she breeds.
You see Kurt Metzger with that wig on. You know what I mean? He's hilarious, man. I want to go to one of their live panel shows, but they usually be out in Cali. Hey, yo, Jimmy Dore, man, bring one of them shows out here, man. Hey, yo, last time you was out here, if you ever see this, man, last time you was out here, I got a picture with your wife, man. I couldn't find you. You was out in Pottstown. But go ahead, get back to it, man.
It's on Twitter and on her show. And so I'm going to show you some of it that I was dealing with on Twitter just 2 days ago. So when I showed that video of the guy saying, yeah, they show up to work, they're reliable, they stay at their station till their work's done, I want to hire more Haitians. So this guy says, what's he paying them? I go, he's paying them less than he'd have to pay Americans. Which is why I say we need to stop blaming the people being exploited and blame the powerful who destroyed Haiti on purpose so they could use their desperation to undermine U.S. workers.
So, I mean, there it is, man. I mean, pretty much laid it out right there. You know, you really can't argue with that. You know, wake up to that, man. You know, that country has been done a big disservice. Another thing that they talk about in that video is the fact that, you know, when Haiti won its freedom from slavery, basically, it was like the first slave revolt. But when they won their freedom from that, France taxed them. In order for them to be recognized as a country, France taxed them like something to the tune of like 100 and some million every year. And they could never, you know, you can't get ahead with a debt like that, you know, especially back in those days. That's trillions of dollars in those times, I'm sure. So, you know, Megyn Kelly is talking all this and that, get out, this and that, but 10 years, she'll be taking, hey, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that, man. You know, she'll be on Tucker Carlson, man, maybe I shouldn't have said that. So, that's that, man. While you were sleeping, we're going to be right back. We'll be back with our Stay Average, my friends, segment. All right, man, I'll talk to you here in a few. Okay, here we go. Bring it on back to me. We here with our Stay Average segment. And this one I've really been excited about because I really went in on some research on this next story, and it's wild. It's funny. You might not have heard of this. Everyone I asked about this, if they heard of this, They said, nah, I didn't even hear about this. And I'm like having to explain the whole thing. So I'm going to make this video, basically this is going to be basically an expose on a young lady by the name of Jessica Leigh. Jessica Leigh. I don't know how that might be pronounced. I could be saying that wrong. But it completely shook up the online community, especially the folks fighting for family court reform. A lot of people speaking out against CPS and things like that. Well, there was a young lady named Jessica Leigh, and she basically built an entire platform, an entire following based on her claims of being absolutely destroyed and unfairly treated by the family court system. Now, don't get me wrong. We know the family court system has deep systemic issues. My man Blake, he could tell you all about that. We talk about it here a lot of the time. But what happens is when a person is standing at the front line of the movement and they turn out to be a complete fraud, that kills the whole movement. People from the outside looking in will see this, and those that have aligned with this person, and they will not take the movement serious anymore. And you see this in politics. Like if there's a protest, they can send people in and put up like hate flags and, hate symbols and stuff. And it completely deflates the protest, because once people see that, even if they just hold up a flag, they take a picture, news is reporting on it. They see that, they call it a hate movement. We saw a lot of that with the recent protesting, but basically what really got me going on it was she seemed to have been buried underneath the grief and weight of it all, so much so that it was reported that she had self-deleted. I'll say it like that. And what happened was I started seeing a flood of all of these messages from, posts from people saying, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Then it became a thing where she was alive again, and then you've seen the posts of, oh, thank goodness she's alive. And that kind of thing really got my attention. And then I guess somebody close to her put a post out there saying that they were going to go live this coming Friday, and that they were going to explain everything. So that kind of thing automatically kind of piques my attention, because I kind of sense something fishy when it's like, you're going to go live. Like, what are you trying to monetize this? I don't know. But anyway, so we had some investigators we saw really took a look at this and broke it down. Some real professionals in the investigative journalism side. And I want to get that queued up. Give me 1 second. Get that queued up here. And so I would go and watch this. I'm going to have this linked in the description. If it's not, it will be. We do a lot of the description of stuff pre-production, but we'll get that edited in, no problem. But these guys, Richard Luthman and Michael Volpe, I would look up their work, look up their content. They have some they did some amazing work, especially on this story right here. They really broke down the true history of this person. And if you watch the whole video, they'll give you the whole background, all the details as far as, how this all came about. And then after that, I'm going to share my own experience with someone who I guess knows this person or claims to know this person, and put out the narrative of, you know, she's been wronged by the family courts. But I want you to listen to this report, and I want you to decide. I've kind of made up my mind, but not that I can't be swayed. I'm going to tune into this live Friday, I guess, and see, see what, what it's about. I'm sure these guys might tune in too, just to see, but maybe not. But I probably will, just to report on it. So here we go. We're going to get these guys queued up here. And here we go. There we go. Let's do it.
Thousands of parents who continue living with this invisible trauma of family separation. Parents who say they have been dismissed as bitter, unstable, dramatic, or unwilling to let go when in reality they are carrying unimaginable grief. Jessica's death has reignited conversations about the emotional toll family court proceedings and prolonged parent-child separation can have on mental health. Let's all pray her story will encourage more people to recognize that emotional trauma does not become less real simply because it cannot be seen. Jessica loved her son. She loved something else more, though. Until her very last breath, she lost her little one to the system. So, and that received tons, as you can see, of how many. Go down a little bit.
And they're giving you a brief. I started it where they're kind of giving you a brief rundown of like what was posted, kind of on her behalf, explaining this whole situation. But it was leaning more in support of her, though.
5,900 likes, 1,600 comments. 1,000 shares. That was probably seen by close to 1 million people. So 1 million people think that this mother was wrong, had her son wrongfully taken, and due to the grief, she killed herself. Now let's get to the truth. Let's get the next link up. Let's read this from the Wingate Police Department. On 11/4/2022, officers were dispatched to suspicious circumstances when a 5-year-old child was located at his...
Now, let me pause that right there. The girl you're seeing there, that's the real person right here. The pictures that they were showing before was the AI pictures that she put online to get some of that, what might be called pretty sympathy, because she seemed like a pretty young girl. People naturally want to give her the benefit of the doubt.
His neighbor's home, stating that both his parents were deceased. Officers went to the child's house and started investigating this incident. Officers found both the mother and her boyfriend unconscious in the bedroom. Both appeared to be overdosing. Once Union EMS, Emergency Medical System, arrived, they were able to get both conscious. The mother, Jessica Leigh Magalaka. Does that name sound familiar? Does that name sound familiar to you?
That's her real name. The Jessica Leigh is like an online, basically made this persona.
Rich?
Jessica Leigh, baby?
Yes, and boyfriend Donnie Laney were transported by EMS. Officers located a white powdery substance in the pocket of Mr. Laney, which is believed to be fentanyl. DSS was contacted and arranged for the child to be taken care of until another family member could be located. After being released from the hospital, both Ms. Magalika and Mr. Laney were arrested and taken to Union County Jail. Can you scroll it up a little bit? Ms. Magalika was the other way.
Nope.
All right.
Now keep in mind, this lady, they found their son that she's, supposedly so distraught about, found him out walking around. And when they asked him what he was doing out by himself, he thought that his parents had passed away. And he saw that. They went back to the house and found them passed out. Woke them up, took them to prison.
All right. See? Yeah. Ms. Macaloka was charged with misdemeanor child abuse and resisting a public officer. Mr. Laney was charged with possession of Schedule I narcotics and misdemeanor child abuse. And now look at her photo. Does that photo look anything like the ones that are online?
Nope.
Does not, Michael. It looks, makeup only gets you so far,
No. Does it sound like her child was taken due to false allegations?
It sounds like the child was taken for the right reasons, because the child was in danger.
Right. It sounds like she loves drugs more than she loves her son. All right. But that's not her only.
Now, I will say it's kind of hard to just say that as a blanket statement. I have worked in the field of addiction, and the love that you may have for somebody can still be there, but it's that the addiction takes over. So, I guess you could say it like that, but it's really more complicated than that.
Running with the law. We got a few more. Let's get a few more things up.
Okay, let's get some up here. Let's go with this one. Here we go.
All right, so when you see 18, that's from 2018. State of North Carolina versus Jessica Leigh.
So here are the documents.
Down. Let's see what that is. Okay.
Here are the actual court filings. One thing, I will say this. One thing with people is that people can spin you. People can spin me. They can give all these reasons and excuses and this and that. But when you go to court, there's no spin. It's what's going on, get right to it. There's no chance to, spin these tales that, like you can't go into court with AI pictures and say, oh, I did that because of this and that, in court, you got to show up as yourself and answer for whatever the situation is. So here go the actual court documents where she had to stand in there and say what happened.
Okay, not a big deal. I wanted to post this up there. She's got a long rap sheet, but most of them are something like bad speedometer, but not all. Let's get the next one up. But that's from 2018. 2024. Let's see what we got there. And I think that's for another divorce.
Civil domestic.
Right.
This is her divorce, right?
Right.
Come on, guys, get it together.
Yeah, this one.
2023. That's an important date. Larceny. Folks, after being found OD'd and having her son taken, she committed larceny. Does it sound like she should have custody of her son?
Shoplifting and concealing goods. Yep.
Yeah. Do you think
Now, I would say that in and of itself, I don't think is, reason to completely lose all rights to your child. But that's just, as you'll see, that's just one of the things that contributed to all of this.
Think she took that after that happened, she did everything she could to make sure she could get her son back? Was she really fighting for her son? Was she really doing everything she could to be a good mother? Or was she continuing to commit crimes?
Yep.
All right, let's see what else we found.
And I know it's tough for me to speak as far as how a woman is, and how things that they go through. But when it comes to like having to rebuild your life and pick yourself back up, especially when it comes to addiction, I managed recovery homes and transition homes, and I saw people that were getting their life back together, and people that were willing to, really lock in and get off the streets and, do what they got to do. They eventually get their kids back. And I've seen it happen, I've seen a guy come in completely broken and say, you know what? I'm just going to do what I got to do here. I'm not going to fight it no more. I'm just going to do what I got to do. And today he's back with his family. So I can speak on this because I've seen the reality of all of this.
Get some of these photos up.
There's the last piece.
There's another from 2021, obtaining property through false pretenses. This is not someone who's done a couple of crimes. This is someone who continuously commits crimes. What do you think would happen if her son was in her custody? It'd only be a matter of time before she was arrested in front of him.
Yep. Okay, so let's show some of the other stuff we found. We have some communications, actually. You want us to show that one communication, Michael? Yep. Here's one that we have right here.
This shows that in 2021, she faked her suicide. This isn't the first time she's done it.
Yep.
This lady's straight.
So what they're referring to is that there, like I said before, there was a big thing that she had self-deleted. And, you know, a lot of people were feeling bad and, you know, sharing a lot about it. But turns out she's done this before.
Cycle. Next level, as my brother would say. She's done this before, yeah. In 2021, she claimed that she had committed suicide. And notice the photos online look nothing like her mugshot.
It's true. And then, well, we'll show again. Here's the mugshot, right?
That's the real her.
That's the mugshot. Yeah.
That's the real her.
What does the audience think? That's the mugshot. And here is the online picture. What do you think? Do you think that's just makeup?
You think that's the same person?
Come on.
Is that hair and makeup or is that AI?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's probably AI.
Why use the AI?
Let's
to
go
me,
again.
that completely.
There's the mugshot. There's another picture. Here's other pictures.
It's not the same person. Yeah.
To me, when you do the AI thing, it completely. It's like you trying to catfish the whole world. Like it completely takes away from your credibility.
That's not the same person. It is AI. That's right. This whole thing, everything she's done has been completely manufactured. Nothing's real. Because if she told everyone the truth, no one would have any sympathy for her. So instead, she comes up with a story about false allegations and fighting hard. Now, do you have some other? I think you got some other photos.
Yeah, this is that shows the situation with the sister and the
right. So the sister married the other guy. But they married after the divorce.
Yeah, and then we have this picture, which is Mary Jane, who is wishing Jessica a happy birthday and hoping that she can get her act together. This is from a couple of years ago. And this is still another picture we have.
So I guess the baby's dad married the sister? I guess that's what happened there.
Showing her, she was loving these filters of this AI even back then. You know, we'll show that's her, and then here's the filter. You know, so
right. And do you have the screenshot from her sister earlier today?
This is the one from the sister right here. Here, let's see.
That's not the only one. The sister confirmed that she's not dead, that she played a sick prank. And the really twisted part is the way this was broken was someone claiming to be her sister posted on her Facebook page that she had committed suicide. And then her sister had to go online and tell people that wasn't even true.
It's hard to actually get. This is the full thing. Let's see if I can get it a little bigger. I can zoom this.
Come on, man, get it together over there.
There we go.
Okay, so let's see.
I'll go through some of these. These are some of the back and forth. Okay, let's go with the next one.
Come on, guys. Wasting airtime. It's getting late. We up late tonight.
But they went
Right.
back and forth.
And that Amy Klump Storch, that's her sister. I saw comments and turned off, but she has lied about dying in a car accident, having cancer and heart issues.
Wow.
She's got a history of doing this, and she fooled all of social media.
A lot of people.
And no one checked it out.
Yep. Let's do another one.
Right. I will not tolerate someone lying about death or lying about having cancer. I am going through it personally. I don't appreciate it one bit. I'm not the one who posted her fake death, and I'm going through hell after losing my husband, and this isn't cool what she did. She stated once her son was getting chemo. Cancer isn't funny. She faked that her son was getting chemo.
I mean, come on, man.
Let's put up another one. Let's see.
I mean, the evidence demands a verdict. And I know they're going to explain all this away, and, but...
Right.
See, is this really...
You really got to go back and
Mike,
watch this. You'll see.
Is this really your sister's page? I'm only asking because all these crime pages are posting about this. She is twisted in her own mind to do this. And then one of her friends, she's making everyone think she's dead. It's not the first time she's done this.
Yeah. Okay. And then... Let's see what else we have.
Well, guys.
That's Madison Love. That's one of the relatives. I think it's one of the sisters. She has several sisters, and that's one of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see.
See, they really dug into all of this, man. They really looked at all the people involved, and they're not just taking her side of the story.
It's this one.
And this is, I'm not sure what that is, because by that point, he had been taken.
Yeah, that's the kid.
Because he was taken in 2022. So this lady created a fake life online where she was the victim of a corrupt system and was fighting hard for her son, and was so heartbroken that she eventually killed herself. I think she wanted to be a living martyr. And in reality, the son was taken because she was a drug addict who OD'd while taking care of him, and then committed crimes after the son was taken. And that is why she never got him back. And she's not the beautiful photos you see either. Madison is her daughter. That's right. She's got other kids.
So what do you think, Mike? Do you think the family court might have got this one right?
The family court got it right. Yeah, of course. And look, she had a chance to get him back. It's a very small chance, but you can't ever relapse once they've taken him, and they're going to make you jump through.
Yeah, and they're serious with that. Like, you cannot mess that up. You have to walk a straight line. If they go through the trouble of taking them from you, you cannot be out there stealing and using, and even if you got to go check in somewhere, because there's places that help you, get on your feet with that, but you got to walk the line with it, man.
Through a million hoops, but once she committed a crime after the fact, then all bets were off. But yeah, they got it right. And you saw does it sound like it was false allegations? You saw when DSS was called. The cops called DSS.
The cops were there.
They called DSS because they found her unconscious with her boyfriend with a bunch of fentanyl while her kid was trying to find food at the neighbor's house. So she created this fake life. It's just amazing that this thing took off. No one checked it out. And everyone covered it. Millions of people saw it. And, now it's like hitting back. And we should say that one crime page, it said we've got an update. The update was that they have since gotten information that this whole thing is bogus. But the lady was still sympathetic to her. Just because you have a drug problem doesn't mean your rights should be terminated. She still was defending her. Because it's all based on like a fake story. Just amazing.
And we didn't see any type of GoFundMe or any type of fundraising campaign. That would have been really crazy, because there's some of these things, and people go to jail for this. They fake cancer, or they fake death, or they fake some type of tragedy, and then they raise money off of it. That's total criminal fraud, and we haven't seen that yet.
True.
That's not something we've been able to discover. We're not ruling it out at this point. I think anything's possible with these people, but.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to come out with something like that on Friday when they do this live. I'm going to show a picture of that. I have a image of that somebody posted.
At least, as far as the outward signs appear, she didn't do this like for monetary gain, as a fraudulent type thing. It looks like it just some type of
emotional,
real psychological and emotional issues more than anything else.
Right. Emotional fraud. Well, and obviously it's not the first time she's faked her death. She likes for people to think she's dead. All right. Anything else you wanted to add?
Nope. That's the story. That's what we got today. So we've debunked.
All right. Let's wrap it up. And look, family court has all sorts of problems. We're going to interview Arizona State Representative Rachel Keschel about a new bill that is a law now to talk about that. But this is the other side of the coin. There are many fake victims out there who are vultures and predators in reality, and this is one of them. And if you can put a nice photo online that makes you look good, people are attracted to that and they let their guard down, and this is the sort of thing that happens.
Yeah. And it's social media today, you want to take people at face value. I try to take people at face value, but trust but verify is the moral of this story. Some of the things that
now, if you see something on social media, you can't find it anywhere else, and especially with something like this where there's no documents anywhere. All of these people say they know her. No one seemed to know the story beyond like vague, false allegations, TPR, CPS screwed her over. You all know her, but you don't know the details. That's hard to believe. Someone who has been screwed by the system is specific with at least some people. Somebody's going to know exactly what happened because they'll share it with some people. Maybe not everyone, but they will share it with some people. So that seemed fishy to me. And a lot of things seem fishy to me, but this is a remarkable story, but not in a way that I expected when I first saw it.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike, for coming on, and we're putting this story out there. And yeah, we'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, there you go, man. Them guys, they really dug deep on that. And really the worst part about all of this is that this really takes away from the actual fight from those that have went through that, have been wronged by the system. It does happen. There's a lot of systemic problems in that family court. I was conversing with a young lady who has went through that herself. And I want to pull that up. She did a podcast. I'm going to get all these linked in. But she did a podcast. Her name is, let me see. What is that? I believe it's Mackenzie. Scarlett Mackenzie. She, let me read the description here. She shares the moment of her attempt to leave a controlling relationship escalated into something far more devastating. After enduring coercive control, surveillance, isolation, and retaliation, her child was taken without a warrant or court order, which that's not the case in what we just saw. Following false allegations, right? That's what this other young lady was claiming. What followed was a fight against a system that ignored due process, dismissed evidence, and repeatedly failed to protect families while prioritizing procedure over truth. Her story exposes how power, control, and retaliation can extend beyond relationships and into institutions meant to protect children, right? So she did this podcast basically telling her story, and I'm going to share a little bit of that right now. Check this out.
All the weaknesses.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's literally gathering information to use against me later. Mm-hmm. And it's sickening because this is someone that I've loved. This is someone that I've trusted. I've allowed him into my home, into my life. I've allowed him into my daughter's life. Mm-hmm. And I never in a million years, like you and I, we could even hate each other. But for you to hurt my daughter,
right,
who she remembers everything. She remembers him. And she talks now about how, she wants him in jail. She is devastated.
I just want to pause real quick and add, she's got that picture of Jelly Roll up there. And that didn't really age too well, knowing what we know about him. Especially when you talk about Beyond the Monsters and the the brand that you have. I would get a different picture. Because it turns out he might have been kind of the same way as what this young lady's describing here.
He ended up having a full-blown grand mal seizure just shortly after the final closing of everything. And we had so many tests run. I'm still having tests run. Mind you, this was December of last year. We're still making sure that everything is okay because the only thing at this point that could explain it was that she experienced such a heavily traumatic moment in her life that it just it caused her to have a seizure. And
it's okay.
I found her like that. I thought, so she had been having these night terrors since all that happened and she came home, right?
Take us back real quick just so listeners know, what did he do when it came to CPS to get us to that point? If you're okay with sharing that.
Yeah, no, of course.
So, I mean, you can go and watch that. I'm going to get all these linked in, but so she goes in, she describes her story. Now, when you hear about her story, she wasn't like Jessica Leigh. This lady isn't using drugs. She is who she is. She doesn't have AI pictures, to explain her story. And by aligning herself with this woman, she is deflating her own fight. The tragedy that happened to her, no one's going to take seriously if you align yourself with this lady, Jessica. And I know you may feel bad for her, but she's using that as a weapon against you to invoke emotion so that you'll tap into your emotions over over the reality of the situation. And let's see. So we got a little back and forth, and I was basically saying, look, I got some information on this that basically I got some information. I was doing some of the research on this, and I was telling her, like, look, I got some information on this that it doesn't look too good for this young woman. And I said, I even said about the AI pictures. And she came right back in, and said, this and that and this, let me get this over here real quick. 1 second here. I'm trying to pull this up so you can see this. So we got this right here. So I guess they're going to be going live basically. And, they're going to be, I guess, talking about all of this. But again, she is this picture right here. This is not her. That's not her. And she's gonna come on, I guess, and explain all this, which I might tap in. Where we have this at. So if you type that in under events, I'm sure you'll see that pop up. But it's like, what are you trying to monetize? Like, what's going on here? But again, this lady Scarlett, she claims to know this lady, talk to this lady, and she just would not accept that you've been had. You've been played here. And if you continue to align yourself with this woman, it's going to completely destroy your own fight. And another thing I'll say, as far as the Scarlett McKenzie, she actually has music out, right? So she's a public figure, that's why I can show all this. But let me try to play. Let me see if I can find a clip. Maybe she'll make the best of the booth report one of these days. So let me go here. I think they're in the. Oh, okay, here we go.
Only God knows. Only God knows.
So I guess that's just some of her tracks here.
Anytime I think about it, ooh, hey, I still struggle to breathe. Maybe grace is the light through the smoke. Maybe pain is just a seed that grows. Even when my heart feels closed, he still knows. He still knows.
Yeah, so that's that right there. So she's a public figure and all this, but young lady, you are really destroying your brand by aligning yourself with this lady. And another thing I'll add to that, I'm outside looking and nothing I say matters. That's why I like doing these videos, because no one's watching and nothing I say matters. But with that being said, you want to get into this entertainment space, and I would say don't do it. Raise your daughter, be with your family. If you think the world of CPS and the family court is bad, wait till you get into the vultures of the entertainment world. That is not a safe place for you or your daughter or anyone you care about. And really, if you really look at it, not just what you see on stage, but if you really peel back the layers, most of the entertainers that you saw and maybe inspired you, most of them aren't living great lives. And that's why I put this in my stay average section, man, because I would tell you, man, just stay average, man. Just be a regular person, man. Enjoy life with your daughter, man. You were one of the lucky ones that got your daughter back. You have a good story to tell, but you need to disconnect from this lady. She is going to be exposed. The research has already been done. And I don't see how you come out of that, but don't go down with that ship. It's not going to be worth it, man. Stay in a good fight. Align with people that have really been, there's people that have really been through these situations. Matter of fact, if you go down through the comment section of some of those posts, you'll see that for sure. So that's going to be it. That's going to be the show for tonight. Been a good one. We up late at night, man. Breaking news. I had to bring you that, especially with Jessica Leigh. She's going to be coming out on Friday, I guess, to explain her side of things. But I'll probably tune in just for the reporting aspect, but I don't really see how you come back from that. So I'll be signing off. You all have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you happen to be catching this. Peace.